today I have Brian Carino, and I had him answer those about 6 questions. One includes how to pronounce your name, so I think I'm good with that one so far. He is in the field of digital marketing support specialist. His hobbies include cooking, writing, and frequently at the movies. When I asked him what kind of restaurant he likes or what his favorite restaurant is, he basically said any hole in the wall. They've got the best food. I don't know, but no, I think that's pretty good. It's true. So, a favorite book is To Kill a Mockingbird, and something you may not know about him is that he has never attended a wedding, not even his sister's, when it was in the same city as him. So hopefully we can all invite him to a wedding, or maybe you avoid them for good reason, I don't know. But let's all give a really warm welcome to Brian Carino.
Good morning, everybody. So when Helen asked me to speak in front of KC Oasis, I instantly knew the topic that I wanted to discuss. And I have to admit that I was a little hesitant to even discuss this, mostly because I try to live open and honest with everybody that I encounter in my life. But I know in my life, and I know that a lot of you might be able to relate with this, there are certain aspects of my life that I don't necessarily like making common knowledge. It's not necessarily because I'm ashamed of it or because I want to hide it away in a corner. It's just simply a comfort level. Like, I like knowing who knows things about me, and therefore I know how I'm represented to them. But in order for me to kind of do my community moment, I kind of had to be able to be honest with everyone here. And the thing that really kind of scared me more than anything is that I've never really come out in front of a group that's this large. And while some of you probably assume or probably know for a fact, and most of you probably don't care, I figured it had to be said. And I'm glad that I get to kind of share this in front of a group that's very open and very accepting. So I kind of have to say it. I, Brian Carino, am Latino. Yes, I'm Latino. I'm pretty sure my mom knew since I was little. She was always giving me that judgmental look. Now, to be honest, yes, I'm joking about it, but in all honesty, this actually was something that for a long time I actually was ashamed of. And to kind of understand exactly why I was ashamed of it, we kind of have to go back in time to the year 1987. This is the year that my mother actually moved from El Salvador to the United States. Now, if you don't know anything about El Salvador, I don't blame you. It is the smallest country in Central America. Another fun fact, it is also the epicenter of gang crime in all of Central America. So a country that is about the third of the size of the state of Missouri is like a powerhouse for crime. So it kind of makes sense when you think that somebody wants to move from a hostile environment to somewhere that's a little bit less hostile. That and the fact that in that year, the currency in the country, the Salvadoran colon, was worth 1/5 of the American dollar. So if we kind of do some internal math, if I get the lowest paying job here in the United States, I'm still earning at least 5 times more than the lowest paying job there. And with my mother having 4 children that she's trying to support, and an ailing mother, it was really important for her to kind of be able to provide for them. So she made the dangerous trek up here. And one of the things that she quickly noticed when she moved up were certain characteristics of people that she thought were successful. So when I was born a few years later, from a very young age, she tried instilling those ideals within me. So things like being able to speak English, and being able to speak English without an accent. Being well educated. And while those things don't necessarily seem like negative things, the way in which my parents kind of went about that process kind of had some negative side effects. So one of the ways that they kind of did that was not allowing me to speak Spanish in the household. So they would talk to me in Spanish, but I would always have to respond in English to them. And over time, this kind of just started building a certain kind of image in my mind of who I was. So one of the things that I started becoming ashamed of was speaking Spanish to anyone, to my parents, to my friends, in front of anyone. Because in my mind, the internal dialogue that started occurring was, well, I can't speak Spanish. Speaking Spanish is an inferior language, therefore if I speak that language, I am then inferior. And it didn't stop there, it kept going. So it then turned into, well, who speaks Spanish? Well, Latinos speak Spanish. And even if I choose not to speak Spanish, I am Latino, therefore I am inferior. And it kind of continued on even from there. So it doesn't matter whether or not I get the highest grade in class, it doesn't matter if I beat out my peers, I am Latino, and even if I'm the best, I am the worst. And over time, this kind of starts chipping away at your confidence. So I was never okay with any success that I would do. I was always diminishing the accomplishments that I did, and it was always chipping away at my confidence. And that had really, really negative effects on who I was as an individual. Eventually, I went and saw somebody when I got to college because it got really, really difficult with high pressure stakes of going to a university to kind of keep up with my confidence level. So I went and spoke with someone, and I got to learn a lot about myself and kind of got to learn how to keep everything well taken care of and put back into maintenance. And I could go into a laundry list of things that I learned to do, but I'm going to condense it to 3 because I have a time limit. So the first thing that I learned was that for everything that I envy in a lot of other people, whether it be like their eye color, their skin color, their hair color, there are just as many things that people envy about me. To kind of put that in perspective, according to IBIS World, there are $5 billion annually that are spent at tanning salons. So people are literally spending billions of dollars to look a way that I was ashamed of looking. The second thing that I learned was that the things that make me different don't make me flawed. They make me unique. So I look out at everybody, and I know some of you, and I'm instantly able to recognize who you are. Although everyone has eyes, and everyone has a nose, and everyone has ears, I'm able to recognize you for your differences. And that's what makes us each different, whether it be our personality, the way that we look. And so I had to learn that I am not flawed because I look different. I am unique, and that makes me special. Also, I'm really bad with names, so if everyone in here looked the same, I'd be in big trouble. Because I can recognize faces, but if everybody looked the same, I wouldn't be able to know anybody from anybody else. And the last thing that I learned, and this is probably the most important thing that I learned, and the number one thing that I kind of think everyone should take away from this, is after being able to acknowledge the things that I should take pride in of myself, and after acknowledging that I am not flawed, I am unique, I had to then be able to look at myself and be able to tell myself, I love you. Because if I was not able to look at myself and tell myself that, if I was not able to show myself compassion, show myself caring or affection, then it really hinders my ability to genuinely and open show that to anybody else or to receive it from anybody else. And over time, you just become miserable if you live that life. And I can tell you from being in that experience, it is not a good place to be. So hopefully, I was able to enlighten some of your guys' lives. I'm in a much better place now. I still practice some of those things on a daily basis. I feel like that's just a healthy thing to do. So I appreciate it. Thank you everybody for having me here.